Okay, get this. Have you ever heard of a law that's so specific, so weird, that it just has to be a joke? Well, today we're diving into a real life law from Switzerland that's got people talking all over the world. And believe me, it's a wild story about friendship, loneliness, and the secret social lives of one of our favorite furry pets. So, this quote right here, this is pretty much the key of the whole thing. The words you really gotta focus on are social rights. Now, this isn't some fluffy, feel-good suggestion. Nope. This is a hardcore legal principle. It means Switzerland is officially saying that for certain animals, having friends isn't just a nice to have, it's a fundamental need that has to be protected by law. So, what does this actually mean in the real world? Well, it means that in Switzerland, it is literally illegal to own just one guinea pig. That's right. It's actually considered a form of animal abuse. Now, I know that sounds totally bizarre, right? But when you think about it, it's the only logical conclusion once you've given an animal social rights. So let's get into the science that led them to this point. And just to be super clear here, this isn't about, anthropomorphism. That's the fancy word for just projecting our human feelings onto animals. Not at all. This law is built on a solid foundation of science, decades of it, that shows for certain species, being alone isn't just a bummer, it's genuinely harmful, both physically and psychologically. And it all starts with something really, really basic. Guinea pigs are herd animals. Simple as that. Out in the wild, they don't live alone. They live in bustling little groups, always chattering, looking out for danger, just being together. Their entire biology, their whole being, is wired to be part of a team. So when you take them out of that and stick them in a cage all by themselves, you're creating this huge empty space in their life. And look, this isn't just some abstract concept. You can actually see the effects of loneliness in a guinea pig. I mean, they show real physical signs. They might stop moving around much or hide all the time. Their eating habits might change. They can even get aggressive, chattering their teeth. These are tangible, measurable signs of stress and, depression. It's proof that having a buddy isn't a luxury for them. It's a critical part of their health. So I know what you might be thinking, but I love my guinea pig. I play with it all the time. Aren't I enough? And that's a fair question, but this chart here really breaks it down. As much as we love them, and as much as they might love us, we just can't be a substitute for another guinea pig. We don't speak their language, All those little squeaks and body movements, that's a whole conversation we're not a part of. We can be a fantastic caretaker, for sure, but we can't be a true peer. Okay, so if you're sitting there thinking, wow, this seems like a lot of fuss just for one type of pet, you're not wrong. But here's the twist. The famous guinea pig law, it's actually just the tip of the iceberg. It's one piece of a much bigger, much more comprehensive vision that Switzerland has for animals. And yeah, this wasn't some random idea they came up with overnight. Just look at this timeline. The groundwork was laid way back in 2005 with their big Animal Welfare Act. It officially kicked in 2008, and they've been refining it ever since, with updates as recent as 2020. This shows a serious, long-term commitment. They're really in it for the long haul. And check this out. This table shows just how deep this philosophy runs. We're not just talking about guinea pigs anymore. Parrots can't have just one. Goldfish? I mean, even goldfish can't be kept alone. The rules also cover cats and dogs, making sure they get the right kind of social interaction, too. It's a consistent standard across the board. So what's the big idea holding all of this together? It's this really powerful and pretty unique legal concept called the dignity of the animal. The law literally says that animals have an inherent worth. Think about that. It shifts the whole conversation. It's not just about stopping people from being cruel anymore. It's about proactively making sure an animal gets to live a life that actually respects what it is. Okay, so the law is comprehensive, it's thoughtful, it's ethically motivated. Sounds great, right? But like with many well-intentioned rules, it created a predicament. A really strange and surprisingly emotional problem for the very pet owners trying to do the right thing. And here it is, the million-dollar question. You have to own at least 2 guinea pigs. But what happens when one of them dies? I mean, they don't live forever, and they almost never die on the same day. So all of a sudden, you're left with one lonely, grieving guinea pig, and you, the owner, are now technically a lawbreaker. People started calling this the endless guinea pig cycle. Think about it. To follow the law, you have to go out and get a new friend for your surviving pet. But that just resets the whole cycle. You could get trapped. An owner who might be ready to move on from having pets is now stuck in this loop of buying new ones, potentially for years. But hey, this is Switzerland we're talking about.
A uniquely Swiss problem demanded a uniquely Swiss solution. And this, my friends, is where the story goes from just being interesting to being absolutely unforgettable.
To solve this problem, some clever entrepreneurs came up with an idea. Are you ready for this? Guinea pig rental agencies. Yep, you heard me right. Rent a guinea pig services, complete with matchmaking. And the way it works is actually incredibly thoughtful. So, your guinea pig's companion passes away. You're heartbroken. You call up one of these agencies. A matchmaker, I love that, helps you pick out the perfect temporary friend for your lonely pet, based on things like age and personality to make sure they'll hit it off. Then, this new little buddy is delivered right to your door to provide comfort and companionship and keep you on the right side of the law for however long you need. And, these services are run by people who genuinely love animals, people like Priska Kyung. As she puts it, what they offer is a vital interim solution. It's a perfect fix. It lets an owner do right by their grieving pet's emotional needs and follow the law, all without being forced into buying another animal and starting that whole cycle over again.
Now, if you're wondering, hey, what about the rental guinea pigs? Is that a good life for them? Don't worry, this is maybe the best part. In a detail that just perfectly sums up the whole Swiss attitude, these little guys are usually only rented out once. After their job is done, they get retired. They go to live out the rest of their natural lives in a big, happy guinea pig sanctuary with tons of friends, never to be rented out again. How great is that?
So when you put it all together, the law, the unintended problem, and this wonderfully quirky solution, it all kind of forces us to step back and ask a much bigger question. What does it actually mean to be a good pet owner?
This chart really puts the whole thing in perspective. See, in most countries, animal welfare laws are about the basics, right? Food, water, shelter, don't physically hurt them. But Switzerland's approach is so much broader. It's holistic. They're saying, yes, all that stuff is important, but you also have a legal responsibility to care for your pet's emotional and social health too. It's a total game changer.
And don't think this is just a small niche thing. The impact is massive. We are talking about more than 500,000 pets, and that's just counting rodents and rabbits, that are protected by these social companionship laws. This is a huge society-wide commitment. So in the end, this whole story out of Switzerland really challenges all of us, no matter where we live, to think beyond the food bowl. It leaves us with this one big, powerful question to chew on. Are we responsible for our pets' happiness, not just their basic health? And what does giving them a truly good life really look like?